Guys, do you know what a lot of people have been checking out is this story about Amouranth, the Twitch thought streamer slash OnlyFans supermodel, who basically was assaulted in an attempt to rob her of up to $24 million worth of crypto. This is an absolutely insane story. In fact, Amouranth was live tweeting what happened. So basically, she was asleep at her home. 3 assailants apparently broke in, pistol whipped her, and forced her to try to open up her crypto account on her phone. But instead of going to the crypto app, she opened up Twitter, aka X, and said, "This is not a joke. I'm being assaulted or robbed right now." And then what she did is basically her husband was like, I guess, surfing X and saw these messages, and he went and got a gun. And there's some weird stuff going on with her husband too, where basically like, there were claims that he was abusive and they were separated. And I guess like their house is big enough where like he lives in a different part of the house and he still helps her produce content. But she somehow got away from these assailants, ran to him. And when the assailants followed her, and you'll see them in this video down here, when the assailants followed her into the other part of the house, the husband opened fire and actually shot one of the guys and caused them to flee. And as the guy's like running away, he's like, I got shot. But this is absolutely like a crazy, like true crime story. And it all stems from like Amouranth on one of her streams. I guess she like showed her crypto holdings, and it was just like $24 million worth of Bitcoin and Ethereum, all from OnlyFans, apparently. But this is bringing up a lot of questions about internet safety and female streamers and whether or not they need to be protected and all this other stuff. In fact, let me just show you this real quick. So basically this video that she got off of her Nest doorbell or whatever, she might have to remove it because the police are doing an investigation. But basically these guys shot her door and kicked it open, and basically assaulted her in her bedroom while she slept. And she even says that this has shaken her up so much she doesn't know if she'll ever be back streaming or doing OnlyFans or anything like that. And her OnlyFans, I think it's been reported that she brings in something like $3 million a month, $3 or $4 million a month doing the OnlyFans stuff. And that doesn't count all of her Twitch, subscription revenue and all this other stuff. But she's a multimillionaire many times over. But the fact that these guys found out where she lived, broke in, and tried to actually get her to transfer $20 million plus of crypto holdings to them is absolutely bananas to me. Dutch Butters, you're a big crypto fanatic. You love Dogecoin. Yeah, you're a big
I got my
investor.
whole. It's kind of tanked out right now.
And you also love thoughts. So what's your take on this this attempted heist?
It's pretty crazy to me, to be completely honest with you. I mean, I guess she was like, she flexed out there on it and showed everybody a picture of her crypto wallet, which is worth millions and millions of dollars, which is kind of crazy. I don't know why anybody would do that, unless you're like me and you go, hey man, I got a whole $70 worth of crypto that used to be worth a lot more, and then in the last couple of weeks it just went straight down to hell. But yeah, I don't know. This is crazy. I guess if she never comes back, she doesn't have to, right? I mean, she can take all her multi-millions and go buy a nice little compound out in the middle of nowhere and be safe, I guess, with her husband or whatever, and live pretty for the rest of her life. She doesn't have to do this stuff anymore. So, good on her, I guess. I am not a huge fan of hers. I've watched very little of her content. I'm not really into the whole thought thing, even though you might say that I am. I like people who put a little bit of effort and time into their streams and and entertain people. I don't know what she does. I don't know what these people do. I don't understand why people give them money, but I don't get it. But at the same time, nobody deserves to be broken into and pistol whipped and robbed. And I think her husband or whoever actually had the gun was a very bad shot, because all 3 of those guys should be dead right now on the floor of her house. You know what I'm saying? And I guess it should make people wake up. But there's predators out there, and these people need to be more careful with the information that they put out there on the internet.
Brian, an interesting kind of like side effect of this horrible event is that a lot of people are pointing to this as one of the reasons why we need a Second Amendment and why there shouldn't be gun control. Because if she hadn't had a gun in the house, these guys might have straight up killed her, and a gun saved her life. And so a lot of people are saying like every woman should own a gun, and they're using this as proof that, like, the Second Amendment and all the attempts to take away people's guns is always a bad idea, because the legal users of guns are the ones that need them to defend themselves. And the guys who assaulted her were all armed as well, and they were like, using the weapons to basically try and like rob her and beat her and all this other stuff. So what's your take on that? Do you think this is a Second Amendment commercial essentially?
Yeah, essentially. I mean, a gun is a great equalizer, bro. You put the biggest killer linebacker, whatever dude up against my 13-year-old, she doesn't stand a chance unless she's holding a Glock. Like that. That's where everything is equal. So I've been training my kids how to shoot. Took them to the gun range. I'm taking them to the gun range again next week. Like, I'm teaching them how to shoot, how to manage a weapon, how to clean a weapon, how to understand weapons properly. Because, and I'm not like some big like 2A activist. I got a gun. I was in the military. I do believe that the right to be armed is a right, and that it shouldn't be trampled on. I do believe in some common sense gun control stuff. Like, yeah, like maybe you should, pass a basic background check to make sure you're not like a 3-time felon or an insane person or something like that. But there's a reason why these things exist. There's a reason why the West was won. There's a reason why the Revolutionary War happened. These things wouldn't have happened without those tools, and they're tools. And in the right hands, they can protect, and in the wrong hands, they can kill. In this case, I'm surprised to say she had the right hands, and she was able to protect herself. She probably would have been murdered, raped, at the very least, they would have stolen from her. It would have been traumatizing. Instead, she turned the tables, because guns are the great equalizer, period, the end. And there are people that require that protection. They're not big, giant linebackers that can, protect themselves without those weapons. They are the great equalizer, and I think they're required.
Odin, one of the interesting side stories here is that there were 3 other female streamers, Valkyrie, Senna, and Imaru, and they were doing kind of like a IRL stream on the Santa Monica Pier the same night that this happened to Amouranth, and they got accosted by a stalker who apparently figured out where they were, showed up, and tried to get their phone number. When they rejected him, he threatened to kill them, and they had to like run into a convenience store to find safety, and the police had to be called and detain this guy. And this has led to like a big conversation about the safety of female streamers. In fact, Pokemane, who's a big female streamer, she was on the Colin and Samir show, and she mentioned that she spends upwards of $50,000 a month just on security, because she has all types of stalkers and stuff like that. Set aside the fact that she can afford $50,000 a month just live streaming, eating lunch while reacting to other people's videos. But the idea here is that these incidents all taken together seem to be advancing a conversation about the safety of women live streaming. What's your take on that?
For this one, it honestly, if you are going to put yourself out there to that level, to that degree, I'm not saying that, anyone deserves anything. Obviously, I don't. However, I do think that if it's coming down to security, again, you should have to provide your own security. I mean, no one should be paying for that other than the people themselves who are choosing to put themselves out there. And, especially when they are literally using their bodies to make money and are corrupting the souls of so many people in the process. I mean, I'm sorry, like, what do you think is going to happen? They don't deserve like any actual violence against them in any way. And I think that obviously those people still need to be investigated, and, the book of the law needs to be thrown right back at them. And if there's going to be anything as far as these companies providing help to law enforcement, I think that is absolutely something, if they're not doing already, that they should be doing, because again, I think that that's like kind of a bare minimum, but I don't think that there should be any obligation for any company to be providing like anything monetarily, especially to to this kind of crap. Honestly, it was like this to me is a great reason for why we should just get rid of all that streaming crap in the first place. Shut those websites down, because it doesn't help anybody. It doesn't provide anyone an actual good, and if anything, it just hurts people.
You mean like Twitch and Kick as well?
Or at the very least with those companies, I'm not a free speech absolutist, and so I'm totally fine with there being put limitations on other things.
I want to know what you guys do with your stalkers. Do you invite them into the house? They have parties, yearly barbecue get-togethers at the bar. You know, I mean, that's.
I'm actually taking applications for stalkers right now.
You know, we have get-togethers and sell tickets to come hang out. You know, that's come
Tom, the female leftist feminist community out there has looked at these two incidences as examples of how the gaming space is filled with sexism and toxic masculinity and toxic men, and basically they're saying
selling sex.
Yeah, and they're basically saying that women aren't safe doing anything online because men are evil. What's your take on that?
Look, I don't know what an amaranth is. All I know is if you act like a whore, people are going to treat you like a whore. Okay, that's just plain and simple. I may not have as Puritan of views as Odin does on this, but at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I mean, unless there's a bigger company that's promoting this stuff, then yeah, they could probably provide some of the security or pay for some of it. But at the end of the day, you put yourself out there. This is why celebrities have always had a separation, right? Where we don't always know that much about their personal lives or where they live or how many houses they have or anything like that, because they don't want to be stalked. They don't want to be attacked. They don't want people coming and trying to rob them. Now, I mean, honestly, I guess so. She was showing this off online. Well, that was fucking stupid. Yeah. Because otherwise, my first thought would be this is an inside job, right? Like somebody who knows what she. Another thing with crypto, how could you even steal? Like, I don't understand crypto at all.
Yeah, me neither.
Right. Like,
I don't transfer from wallet to wallet.
Yeah. Yeah, but how wouldn't you not be able to trace that?
Because that's like the nature of crypto.
Wallets are anonymous.
Yeah,
that is
centralized.
Dumb.
That's what makes this type of theft perfect for these people, and it's why it's absolutely it's so stupid. Why would you put your wallet publicly out there? You don't. I mean, granted, you know that people have a lot of money and whatever, but you keep that private. It's insane. But obviously, people are going to do this. I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner.
It's like
Blaine,
no, go ahead.
Blaine, I want to throw this to you because
and men are simple creatures. So we think if a woman says "I like you," we think you like us. And if you show us your boobies, we think you really like us.
Even if you're paying for the privilege, right, Tom?
Even if we pay you, because
100%.
You don't know the difference. We're stupid.
Yeah. But you know, Amouranth, you know, she's a very smart business lady, right? Because basically she, you know, used her sexuality on public forums like Twitch and Kick. I think she's exclusive to Kick now because Twitch kicked her off. But basically, like, she used that as a feeder system into her OnlyFans, and her OnlyFans is the real money maker. That's the thing where she's making millions of dollars a month. And so she kind of like leveraged her looks and her popularity on these like free sites to kind of get people into her paid sites. But Blaine, like you totally nailed it on the head. The reason that this was such a brazen attack is simply for the nature of crypto, where it's like peer-to-peer, right? Where it's like, as long as like the two of you have cell phones, you can engage in a transaction. And that's how these thieves tried to basically steal all of her $24 million worth of crypto, was to have her open her phone, enter her wallet, and then transfer her crypto holdings over to their wallet. And if this had been something where like she had this money in the bank or something like that, these guys would have never bothered, because, you know, they would have tried to rob the bank as opposed to this. And a lot of the framing of this is basically, you know, like, oh, it's because she's a woman. It's like, no, it's because she was rich. And they saw an opportunity to rob her. This was all about the money. This wasn't about the fact that she was a woman. This wasn't about the fact that she was vulnerable or peddling sex or like whatever the case may be. It was because she had $24 million that she flexed on live TV. And then guys were like, hey, we could probably steal that. So what's your take on this whole like crypto thing? And do you think that anyone else might be in danger of this?
Oh, I absolutely do, especially if they know that this is the type of rich that you are, if you are a crypto person. And the thing is like we're already tiptoeing heavily around like potential regulation of crypto and all kinds of stuff. The government wants to get involved in this, like they have for a while. And this just seems like another argument for more regulation, which and I am a very deregulated type of individual. But this whole thing, I'm surprised that that isn't part of this conversation as well, and it probably will turn into that. Like I said, I am surprised that this sort of thing hasn't happened more, simply because of the untraceable nature of the crypto and all of that. Like this could, if this gets on people's radars to do this sort of thing, it could be more commonplace. And like Brian was talking about earlier, this is a great 2A advertisement at this point, because it's like I think honestly, if you're a public figure and you, especially of that caliber, and you don't have private security, you better be strapped all the time. And I mean, there are tons of people in even just this YouTube space where we circulate who like keep their entire families and wives and all sorts of things 100% off radar, so that no one even, there are people that you might not even know are married, or all sorts of things, right? Because it's like, because this can be dangerous, and we have this entire group of people now, whether it be YouTubers, streamers, all this stuff, that haven't really fully grasped the fact of their fame and what it could result in. Whereas, like you guys were talking about earlier, it's like, you know, celebrities stayed off radar, off grid, kind of separated from all of this for a reason. And it was because stuff could go sideways. And these people are famous, and they aren't acting like they're famous, and they're doing stupid things out in public. They're sharing their wallets online. They're not behaving like typical people of fame would behave. And so this isn't a big surprise. And these people ought to all get strapped real quick.
I mean, yeah, you're right, because you know, even guys on little channels like ours, you know, I'll be streaming some Helldivers or something, and somebody will say something really kind of weird and creepy in the chat,
Right?
that makes you kind of go, okay,
Yeah.
you know, that's a little, you know, weird. You know, I know Tom. You know, I'm sure Tom has had some weirdos, you know, and
I've always said weird, creepy shit in your chat.
No, I'm talking. I bet there's been some like weird people, like, you know, not really.
Dude, I have pissed off some creepy mother.
Yeah, I mean, yes. look at like Jeremy. You know, when he got attacked at that con a couple of years ago, you know, and some dude just came up and
you mean the quartering?
Yeah, the quartering, when somebody just came up and decided to knock him in the side of the face. You know, when we have like our get-togethers and stuff like it's coming up in April, you know, we've done that for like 4 or 5 years now. I'm always kind of looking around and just kind of seeing what
you guys have been robbed
there. We've been robbed
times
twice
now.
You know,
like just, I mean, look, I'm not even gonna try and pretend like I'm even quasi celebrity or anything like that. No, I'm not saying that either. But like, no, at the end of the day, if I could redo this, rewind this, and start over, I would not put my name out there.
No,
nobody would know where I'm from. Because of these reasons, right? Because I've been attacked endlessly. Like I wake up every morning, it's like, okay, so what am I going to wake up to today? Right? So, and some days are better than others, but like, I can't imagine being a good looking woman like that and not thinking about the possibility of shit like this happening, or being more prepared. Right? Like that to me is just stupid. Yeah. Like, I mean, enough of us worry about getting swatted or some other weirdo showing up because they get pissed off about something you say about Zack Snyder or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude, when Mixed Teas was attached to the Popcast and a bunch of other channels for a long time, you can Google Mixed Teas and find an address. And we had someone had tried to break into our shop. Since then, we've moved where we actually do the shirts away from that place. And that's only storage now. So if someone breaks in, it's not going to affect the people that work for us and our operation. But for that exact reason, the second we got any kind of notoriety, things got really weird, because people are weird. There's some really weird, desperate people out there.
I've warned my kid, my parents, and anybody I've ever dated of the same kind of thing, right? Like, just be prepared or keep yourself away from my shit. So,
yeah. You know, Brian, I know that Tom says that he doesn't know anything about crypto, but you do. What's your take on the crypto aspect of this? Do you think that people need to be like way more careful about, you know, how they like show off their cryptocurrency or whatever?
Yeah, you certainly should not show off your wallet address. That seems that's just next level of retarded. Like, I'm sorry. You should. There's a reason why these wallets are anonymous. Don't show it off that you have it. or else now you're a target because the only person that can access that is now you. So if you have a ton of money, guess what? You know what the secure part of crypto is? No one can access it unless they can connect it to the one person that has access to it. When you put your money into the bank, go ahead and show off your balance. Go ahead. What are they going to do? Rob Bank of America? But you show off your crypto wallet, and now you're the guy who has to protect your wallet. That's how it works. So don't show off your wallet address. That's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah, I want to show you what she flexed on X over here. So Bitcoin, $20 million
Oh my God.
worth of Bitcoin. Ethereum, $79,000 worth of Ethereum. So a lot of money there. She's got some staked Ethereum as well, which isn't counted in that other number. But yeah, so like she was just like flexing, I guess, off of that stuff, and wrong people saw that.
Right. So, should not do that. Yeah. Again, you're the only security for your crypto. There's no bank. There's no vault. You're the security. So just keep it private. like, dude. By the way, I don't have any Bitcoin. I don't have any. All I have is Doge, and it ain't worth much. So don't bother me.
Stock. You have Disney stock.
And Disney stock, and I can't transfer that. So it's not worth anything. You would end up, if you stole that from me, you would end up owing them money. So